So a lot of questions have been emerging as far as this encounter is concerned. One, causing so many fatalities and at the level that the fatalities came. And it has also been going on, as we mentioned, yet to be completed for nearly a week now. I pose some of these questions to the best man placed to answer them. Former GOC 15 Corps, Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, who explains why things are the way they are.
What do you think is going on and why is this taking so long?
Thank you, Shivani, and good day to all your viewers. Such operations in these areas, it's a difficult area from the point of view of the visibility, the thick undergrowth, the line of sight is not clear, and there are broken rocky patches which can be used by terrorists to move from one point to another point, and they are re-entrants and high altitude areas. So the best way to conduct operation in these areas is to take your time, let the terrorist make a movement, and then engage him from the place where he can't see you and you can see him. Rushing into, after having cordoned the area, no terrorist inside your cordon, now rushing in can result in casualty to on troops. Because on troops are more in number as compared to the terrorist, and if we make a movement, it can be heard. The dry tree leaves can make noise. So generally, the commanders on ground would take their time and engage the terrorist with different means so that there are no more casualties towards one side and the terrorist gets killed. In any case, he is inside the cordon, so he has to die.
As far as this operation is concerned, one, the number and the kind of casualties we have seen, and also as I mentioned, the number of days this encounter is going on. You feel that everything has been done to procedure? It's not like anything could have been done differently.
See, in the hindsight, we all can have opinions. But when the operation was planned, this intelligence about this hideout has been coming to the commanding officer and the company commander and the Jammu Kashmir police for some time. So moment the intelligence got confirmed that yes, now we can launch. And let me tell you here, earlier days, the terrorists used to live off the villages. They used to come down to the villages for their sustenance, for their food, and even make hideout inside the houses and stay inside the villages. After abrogation of Article 370, since 5th August 2019, 618 terrorists have been killed. That means that terrorists are getting away from the populated areas because there is tourism coming. There are, you can say number of terrorists getting killed or more. The terrorist committed atrocities are reducing. The security forces footprint and civil administration reach is reaching. The civilians are earning more than they were earning earlier. The students are going to school. So now the local population is not supporting the terrorists inside the village. As a result, they have been forced and pushed out of the villages. Now they are trying to stay inside the jungles and far-flung mountains hideouts. Having said this, the point which you are making, could this have been done differently? Now, once this intelligence was coming and hard hint was available that there is a hideout inside the jungle, as per what has been told to me, the teams walked 7 to 8 hours in these jungles to reach that hideout. It was a hard intelligence. Commanding officer and the Jammu Kashmir police realized it. The intelligence is worth it. That's how the commanding officer himself led the operations and the company commander and DSP. But when the operation went as planned, they reached the target area. They contacted the target area. Now, so far, everything was as per plan and everything was perfect. There's nothing wrong in the operation. They could walk 8 hours and go to pinpoint hideout. And when the contact happened, it is just unfortunate that the first volley of the fire, the first burst, got the command element. Probably all of them, having reached the objective area, were trying to strategize as to how now the ground is in front of you. Something would have been planned in the headquarters, in the operations room. Now, when the ground is in front of you, all the nalas in front of you, all the trees and everything is in front of you. Now you got to relocate or something, maybe modulate your plans. So once they were strategizing and they were together, that is where they got hit and the terrorists could get on them. Now, this does not mean the operation was not well planned. It is just that it was a bad day and that first bus got the command elements. It is just one of those bad days. It can happen in this type of a counter-terrorism operation areas. Every time you will not get success out of 100 times. One time there will be some setback. It is unfortunate that this time the setback was very heavy.
Sir, you served as the GOC 15 core, so you know inside out how these operations are done and obviously the terrain as well. I want to ask you another question that, through some unconfirmed reports, we have learned that when our soldiers suffered the injuries that they did, the medics could not get there, or they could not be taken out of that zone because the terrorists were firing on the helicopters as well. What do you make of the capability with which these terrorists seem to have attacked us, or they were holed up in these Pir Panjal forest range? And secondly, is it not a matter of concern that when some of our men take injuries, we are unable to take them out from the danger zone?
Shwani, these things I cannot confirm or deny because I do not know the ground realities. Intention is always to give the first aid moment a soldier is injured, so that we can avoid the excessive bleeding. It is always to save the life, give the first aid. Every soldier carries something called first field dressing. Moment you are hit, a gunshot wound or otherwise, the first thing is to stop the bleeding. Just shove the first field dressing inside the wound, tie it up so that the loss of blood is not there. Now, I do not know the ground situation. All these are, assumptions. But people on ground would have done their best under the circumstances, under the operational conditions, to save maximum lives. Now, I do not have any inputs on why or hows of it. But otherwise, as per the SOP, as per the drill, every soldier carries the first field dressing. And the first and the foremost thing is to give the first aid, evacuate him to a safe place where a nursing assistant or a medical officer, if accompanying, whosoever is accompanying, they gave him little better medical treatment. And then he is evacuated to a little backward, where he can be either picked up by a helicopter or he can be taken to a place where ambulance can come.
But sir, my second question was about the capabilities with which these terrorists seem to be holed up. They seem to have, at least by some unconfirmed accounts, sophisticated weapons and enough weapons to sustain. Now, we do have some unconfirmed reports that the two terrorists have in fact been killed. It's just about locating their bodies and, getting a confirmation from the army. But your thoughts on the capabilities that these terrorists showed, and especially the weapons that they may have been carrying?
In the past also, the terrorists have been supplied by weapons from Pakistan Army and ISI, and some very sophisticated weaponry has been recovered even in the past. Even when, if you remember, when Amarnath Yatra was going on in 2019, and there were reports of terrorists trying to attack it, the M4 type of American rifles were available with them. Pakistani Ordnance Factory Claymore mines with the Pakistan Ordnance Factory markings were available with them. So there's nothing new that terrorists are having heavy weaponry, if at all. I don't know the details. But Pakistan has been supplying these terrorists in Kashmir with all the weapon systems which they can use. So notwithstanding that, Indian Army is capable of handling whatever weapons they may be using. And it's a matter of time. The commanders on ground probably are taking little longer so that they don't suffer any more casualties. Now the terrorists are within the cordon. It is a matter of time, they have to die. It's only when they make a movement, they will be taking a pot shot. One movement would create a situation where you are also exposing yourself to be hit. So that probably is the reason that commanders on ground are taking the decision of letting it, take a natural course. So taking time is not the worry. Worry would be if we lose more people or more Jawans or officers.
Absolutely.
That is what is the responsibility of the commander on ground, not to lose more men. So let's not get unnecessarily concerned about the time it is taking. The commander on ground is doing the right thing by carrying out the operation as per his plans. Let's have faith in him.
No, absolutely. I said this on my show the other day also that, how much time it takes is irrelevant. But what hurts the most is losing our well-trained soldiers, and, their lives are more important than how much time it may take or what resources it may take. So my final question, you talked about how there was intelligence and how this was a seek and destroy operation. We seem to have gheraud the terrorists who were holed up in a certain location, and we seem to have good input on that. As a lay person, a lot of people would be wondering then why is it not possible to just bomb that place and eliminate the terrorists instead of going in, with the troops themselves?
Shwani, good you asked this question, because for a common person who is concerned about the safety and welfare of our soldiers, it's a very right question to, or doubt to have, as to if we knew the location, why didn't we bombard with some precision weapons or some precision guided ammunitions? I must tell you how the information comes. When the information comes, the source, who is generally a local person, in this case, he would come and tell you, sir, in those heights, about 7-8 hours of climb from here, in a nala on the left-hand side, there is a hideout next to a big boulder or behind the clump of trees. He would give this type of indications. These sources do not come with lat longs. As if I have to reach a studio, you will send me the location. That will give me the lat longs. I will reach exactly. But when the sources indicate the hideout to you, they do not give lat longs. They do not have the lat longs. They will give a general idea of a general area. Now, when you go on the ground, you have to locate that big boulder, the clump of trees, that nala, the re-entrant spring, say, itne meter dur, and all those things. So this is how the troops have to physically reach there, identify the location, fix that location. Then only something can be brought in with the precision. Now, once you are there and the fire has happened, your troops are in 50 to 70 meters of vicinity of that area with a zero visibility. Now, at that time, someone suggesting to use weaponry which has a danger area of 200 meters or 150 meters or 100 meters, when your own troops are within 50 meters. So the commandos on ground are the best people to decide. Now they're using the UAVs with grenades and explosives as per the information available on the open sources. That means now they've fixed that area and UAV can go to that area and drop that explosive and grenades. Now the UAV could not have gone to that area unless the troops had physically reached and pinpointed the location.